Alright, now to talk about Summer Game Fest, which, I don't know. I liked it, but I don't know. I'm just like, I will say at least there was no Lego Horizon moment like last year with opening up. Okay, I'll give it that.
I
But
mean, it wasn't the worst thing that I've seen. It wasn't like there was some stuff that caught my eye, so I'm not gonna trash it too much.
yeah, although part of me just kind of almost fell asleep half. But yeah, so the game they started with, I was so confused with again because like I wasn't sure, but it's the most unexpected thing because it's a Souls like called we're getting a sequel to Mortal Shell, which like it depend who you talk to. It's a cool concept, bad execution type of thing. So kind of curious how Mortal Shell 2 is gonna do it because it generally looked really cool. And like, if your trailer features rock music, okay, you have me sold.
It's like that's all it takes. Just play a rock song, and you're gonna play the game.
I mean, kinda. If the game is good, at least.
Well, in the Xbox showcase, we talk about it. I'll bring up the rock song that appeared.
But yeah, I'm kind of curious because I've never played Mortal Shell. I do have it because it was free for on Epic Games at one point, so I have a lot of Souls likes to get around to playing.
Yeah, I don't know that struggle.
Yeah, because we gotta get you into the genre.
It's like I don't know how I would do in that genre. I still haven't been fully exposed to Souls. Like,
But at least for Summer Game Fest, one of the things we predicted at least came to fruition.
yeah, so that's Chronicles Medieval. Yeah, uh, I don't know too much about the game yet. It's another one of those. We saw the preview. I can appreciate the hard work that the developer did, but I just did not know what kind of game I was looking at initially, and I kind of had to look it up. And it seems like it's going to be an action RPG, or was it tactical? I forgot which one it was. See, even now I'm trying to remember.
Well, action game, dark fantasy, but you do have some strategy elements by the looks of it in real time. Because we saw like a bar that was like one side is blue, one side's red, so you probably control
Mm.
units in the battlefield.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be on the lookout for this game. I might actually get it because I want to support a small studio, especially I think this is their first major release on console and PCs. So yeah, I don't have too much to say, mainly because I want to find out more.
As for me, I had to see more of it, or they had to release some kind of demo just to see like if the strategy part is actually good. Because it's a make or break for me personally, as someone who somewhat plays strategy games. So I'm just kind of curious if the execution is done well. Otherwise,
I mean, that's completely fair.
yeah. Well, so a game next, we definitely expected to show up. Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and I don't think the one part we expected was the Minecraft part.
No, I was not expecting that, but I mean, hey, I guess that's a draw for some people.
Yeah, I guess. People and their lava chickens. Lava chicken! But, I don't know. The more I see of Sonic Racing Crossworlds, especially after playing Carter's 2, it just seems a bit too slow for my liking.
No, it's like I wanna like it, but at the same time, it's like, is it gonna be worth the price that they're asking? Probably not.
Which, again, funny enough, like, someone from Sega was on stage just, like, throwing shades at Nintendo because of Mario Kart World. Again, that's not worth $80. And then, like, Sega decided, let's not show them the price yet. Uh, it's
And the
like,
price is 70.
and if you want to play it 3 days early with the Digital Deluxe edition, you have to pay over $90.
Yay.
Which No.
So the one positive I'll say is that I can appreciate. I said this before in the previous video, but I can appreciate the fact that they gave a Sonic Racing game a second chance. That they didn't completely abandon the idea because I don't know how successful Team Sonic Racing was, but yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm likely not going to get this game, but it's not going to be a 0% chance that I'll get it, but pretty unlikely.
Yeah. I mean, if I want, I'll probably just wait for a sale. Especially if they have Monkey Ball stuff in it. Come on.
Oh, that's what you're waiting for, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The mood for me kind of just went as soon as they showed Joker from Persona 5. Which I had a hunch he was going to be in the game because it's like, why would you not capitalize on Persona? I mean, I was also expecting like Yakuza. I don't know. I was kind of hoping some other Sega IPs would be shown, but they might show off some more of the Sega IPs because they are going for that Sonic Sega All Star Racing Transform kind of vibe, and not to mention they're bringing back the Werehog. The thing that comes from my favorite Sonic game that some people like, some people despise.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh, yep. But I guess that wasn't enough a draw for Dracula.
Yep, but and not to mention the supposed SpongeBob collab, which I'm like, what? When they say cross worlds, they literally mean it. Uh,
Well,
but
SpongeBob seems to be appearing a lot in these showcases. We'll talk about that later.
oh, that's true. Yeah,
Now that I think about it.
yeah.
But for now, we're going to move on to the next game, which is Code Vein 2, which I know Dreadclaw's excited about.
Yeah, because like more Souls likes. I've tried to demo the first one, which I thought was a pretty decent game from what I've played. But seeing Code Vein 2 is pretty neat because Bandai Namco's not abandoning the IP like some IPs they've done in the past. I kind of thought it was just because of like a specific attack animation. I was like, is this Code Vein? But yeah, Code Vein, from what I played, seems like a pretty solid Souls like for what it has to offer. It's like if you want a Souls game in more of the anime style, there you go. So I've also noticed a thing with when it comes to not just Code Vein 2, but like Bandai Namco had such a presence with these events. Like from State of Play, they had some stuff. Summer Games Fest, they had some stuff as well. Like, damn, they have some kind of presence.
Yeah, there's definitely a strategy in a good kind of way that they're implementing. So honestly, Bandai Namco, that's probably the company to look out for in the best way possible.
Yeah, they've been doing a good streak recently. But
Right to me.
next game to talk about where I didn't get Little Nightmares, but End of the Abyss. End of Abyss is probably the closest I'll get to Little Nightmares 3 until they give the official release date. This was a game I've somewhat known about because I randomly came across it on Twitter years ago. Then there was like a random YouTube video talking about the game as well because it's think Little Nightmares meet Bioshock. That's basically what it is, and as of course, huge Little Nightmares fan. Definitely something I'm looking into, and plus, I've noticed like we've been getting a lot of Little Nightmares likes. So I'm kind of curious how End of Abyss will do to spice things up, because the one I can always think of that's a Little Nightmares like that actually changes up a little bit is Bramble the Mountain King, which I played. I want to say 2 years ago.
Yeah, I just want to address this. We actually skipped Epic Games in our previous video because we thought like, oh, they're gonna show some Fortnite collab or something of the sort. But no, it was actually a pleasant surprise. Epic Games is like kind of expanding their catalog, where it's. I mean, they potentially could put all their eggs in a couple baskets, when the baskets being Fortnite and Fall Guys. But no, it's actually kind of nice to see that they're branching out a little bit. So I can appreciate this.
Oh, no, sorry, because End of Abyss is a currently end of it's gonna be a Epic Game Store exclusive.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why Epic Games is there. It wasn't just a regular like Fortnite thing.
What you mean? They did show Fortnite and just like yawn.
Which that's to be expected in every single showcase at this point. It has
Yeah.
a wide audience, so I can't really blame them for it. So I'm not gonna shit talk it at all.
Oh, but I was gonna shit talk it anyway. Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking out End of Abyss, which, an indie game you're looking forward to made appearance as well.
Mouse PI for Hire. Oh my god, I'm so excited about it. And it has a pretty famous video game voice actor. So yeah. But it's Troy Baker.
Yeah, Troy Baker. And that guy's in everything.
Why is he the Chris Pratt of video games?
Pretty much.
Which I'm not saying that in the no, well, I joked with Dreadclaw. I was like, well, since they killed him off in The Last of Us, which I guess spoiler alert, even though that game is 5 years old by now. But I was like, so well, since they killed his character off in The Last of Us, I mean, I guess he was available for roles, and this was one of them, I suppose.
Oh, wait. It's either Troy Baker or Nolan North, because I at least remember Nolan North. That's the guy that's usually in everything.
Oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, Troy Baker's in a lot of things too.
It's like the Chris Pratt and Tom Holland of the video
Okay, there
game
we go.
universe.
Well, now it's Pedro Pascal. Now that guy's in everything.
I guess so. But I know they said like they weren't going to talk about release date until like they were for sure the game was ready to launch. But I was kind of hoping for something more because that was just kind of like, okay, it's cool, but you look back on it, it's kind of lame. I don't
Oh,
know.
you're saying like what they showed off?
Yeah, it's like, you could have done something more and just be like, oh, hey, this guy's is working on our game. I don't know.
It's
To
like,
me, it's just
yay.
kind of like, eh.
You thought it was kind of like a cheap draw rather than like show gameplay.
Pretty much.
I can kind of see that, yeah.
It's just something you could have just saved for like a simple upload to YouTube or social media.
Yeah, it's like I guess yeah, because when you're in the Summer Games Fest, it's like you kind of need something to show gameplay a bit more. Because like we've seen like a clip of it, like there's already a preview of it that exists, but they didn't really expand upon that.
Yeah. We talked about Marvel stuff in the State of Play. Summer Games Fest, they showed a new trailer for Marvel Cosmic Invasion, where they revealed two new playable characters, Rocket Raccoon and She-Hulk. And God,
Which is an interesting combination, I will say.
yeah, because I mean, were you kind of expecting like if it was Rocket Raccoon, you were kind of expecting like Groot?
Yeah, something like that.
So kind of like they're not completely going to the MCU for this as well, which again, thank you.
Yeah, this one kind of interests me. I'll definitely be on the lookout for this. It kind of takes me back to when I used to play Double Dragon all the time. just like,
Yeah,
just like beat the crap out of things.
just a simple arcade days. Which between the two, Rocket Raccoon, his sprite work looks credible. She-Hulk looks alright. I would say I'm not like a big She-Hulk person, but I like her design. She's cool. I mean, I was gonna play as Venom, but Rocket Raccoon, he kind of make me lean towards him just from like the his attacks alone. Plus, who doesn't like a mercenary raccoon who swears like crap? But as well, like, Capcom guy, just like we talked about with Stay of Play, we got new footage of the new Onimusha game. Resident Evil, but with swords.
Yeah, which I never been exposed to Onimusha, but as soon as Draco told me that concept, I'm like, huh, that actually interests me. Resident Evil, but with swords. Just like, hmm.
And judging by the gameplay trailer, it looks like they're going back to like the style of the first two games. So it's not gonna be like Devil May Cry in the sense; it's gonna be a little bit slower paced. which I don't know if like it's a bad thing or a good thing for some people, but I kind of prefer it to be in that type of style where it's like slow, kind of like you don't want everything Capcom makes to be like Devil May Cry. It's like some franchises need to stick to like being somewhat original. Otherwise, it's just like, some people are gonna bitch and complain like, "Ah, this game is same as Devil May Cry,"
It's like same game, different skin.
pretty much. So, I kind of wish we still got a release date. That would have been cool, but still slated for 2026. So Capcom still gonna have a great year. And plus, I imagine thanks to like, Monster Hunter and such, like they had the budget, they had the money to actually make different games now. So yeah. So you ever think of looking into this franchise, Gizmo?
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely looking into it.
Because it recently brought they did a remaster of the second game, if you ever want to look into it. But okay, the next game, I don't know what happened.
So I don't know for psychic, but so I don't think we mentioned this during the last video, but Dreadclaw and I were having a random conversation, and we mentioned it on one of my streams that wouldn't it be fun if we just had like the Sesame Street characters, but in a fighting game in that kind of setting? And it wasn't exactly what I was expecting to come to fruition, and it wasn't exactly this that I pictured, but it's definitely something that entices me. So we have Punch Out with puppets with felt that boxing. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
god.
just.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I,
I have
s-
this on recording. I have proof. It's like we came up with this idea and it somehow just came to life.
I still want an actual Sesame Street fighting game. Damn it! I will manage Oscar the Grouch. Come on, developers! Come on! If we can get a puppet Punch Out, we can get a freaking Sesame Street fighting game. Come on.
Yeah, like a Street Fighter kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if it was also like Mortal Kombat style, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
So I'm someone who used to play Punch Out all the time on the virtual console, just like I used to play Double Dragon there. I just wanted to make that clarification because I'm not that old. Because I said like, oh, I used to play Double Dragon. No, no, that's because no, I was definitely exposed to it by older members of my family, but yeah, I used to play Punch Out quite often, so that's why I was kind of like, oh, okay, I might actually look into getting this game.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this game as well. Even though I'm not like I have not been exposed much to Punch Out, but I like the puppet thing. That's like the main selling point to me. I just think it's funny.
I wonder if I can get my uncle to play it because he was the one who used to play Punch Out all the time.
Oh,
So just he
you
said
should
just
show
get
him the trailer.
you know what? I might actually text the Joan today.
Like, what the fuck, Gizmo?
No, I'm just gonna be like Punch Out puppets, enjoy, and then you'll watch the trailer.
Oh, but a game we're kind of like whatever about, but from Square Enix, this was surprising since you would expect from them just like Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts. I guess Foam Stars to an extent if people actually remember that franchise. Uh, Killer In, which is basically Among Us, but with guns.
Yeah, so I don't have too much to say on it. It's like I don't know how much of an audience it's going to capture because you already have Among Us 3D that just came out, and then you have Goose Goose Duck that's still pretty much prevalent. And so I guess it's kind of admirable that they're trying to enter into that space, but is there room for another game in there? I'm not quite sure.
But hey, it has an audience, so hopefully Killer In. Because I do like to see like Square Enix is trying something a little bit more different, or like
Yeah,
just developers in general.
like I can appreciate the ambition. It's just, yeah, I'm not trying to say too many negative things. It's just,
It's
I
like,
don't, I just, I just don't know. I guess that's kind of what it comes down to.
But as well, the next game from Focus Entertainment, which was at a Switch 1 Direct, Mio Memories, which is a 2D Metroidvania. And of course, I'm probably gonna check this out. I just remember I also have the demo down and I still haven't played it. You'd think that would be the
But
first thing I would play.
you would think so, but I guess you're too distracted by everything else. I think you're still undergoing shock from something in the Xbox showcase, which we'll get to later.
Oh, I'm still conflicted no matter what. That was still a surprise, but we'll
We'll get
talk
to
about it.
that. We'll get to that.
Which Focus Entertainment still become one of my favorite publishers outside of like Capcom. So I think it's neat as well. I dig the vibe it has with the cybernetic aesthetics. You have like you're playing as like a robot. So hey, more Metroidvanias that are trying to be a bit more different than just be like Hollow Knight clones.
Yeah, I think Metroidvanias is where you can see creativity. Where it's like, okay, it's like conceptually the same as a lot of other games, but they tried to put their own spin in it. So that is kind of nice to see.
Yeah. And that's what we talk about Out of Words, which is a game that seems to be taking inspiration from It Takes Two.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. It Takes Two seemed to have started a trend, even though I know It Takes Two certainly wasn't the first, because he started like Unraveled and all those games. But yeah, I think more games are coming out that are more co-op, just because I think one thing that has been kind of forgotten in the game is just the idea of like being able to play games together and not necessarily like in a competitive way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I could definitely appreciate. But I'll still have to look into the game. I'm still kind of on the fence about it.
Understandable. Because it is purely 2D. It's not like It Takes Two where it's like it had 2D sections, but it's purely a 3D game.
I mean, I don't mind it. I don't mind that it's 2D, but it's just like I'm not gonna automatically say yes just because like, ooh, co-op, yes. It's like, yeah, I'll look into it a bit more.
But of course, the next game, which predicted and I want it to be Halloween already. My most anticipated indie game and Yacht Club Games just dropped peak that day. Uh, I loved Mina The Howler because they released a demo right after the announcement of like what's the release day. And, it's so good. I'm gonna bug you to play it, right?
No, I actually have it wishlisted, so I'm not. Well, I guess you'll bug me to play the demo because I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
But no, I am actually interested in it because it heavily one Zelda game I've actually played. It definitely takes some inspiration from it, which was Zelda Link's Awakening. And when Joe was playing it, I'm like, this game reminds me of that so much, but there's definitely more to it, and definitely, yeah, no, I'll definitely look into this game because it's kind of appealing to me. I also like the setting of it. I like the character designs and everything. I tend to like the animal kind of thing going on. So this is definitely a win for me.
And plus, the king of the country is a lion, so even more of a biased opinion.
What is Chronicles of Narnia?
Oh my god, that needs to be a thing. There needs to be a reference. Yacht Club Games, do it. But Mina the Howler, I fucking love it because I'm not much of a Zelda guy, but it does have like some aspects of Zelda, like the top down thing, but it feels more like you take aspects of Castlevania, you also take like some aspects of Bloodborne, and you put in like a leveling up system. That's what Minute the Holler basically is. This is definitely the right direction. I like that they're going for. It's not just like another platformer like Shovel Knight, which no disrespect, Shovel Knight's cool, but I do like they're actually deviating a little bit from like what they're usually known for.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get more of an audience for their own. Like as a developer, they're trying to capture like the right niche for the right game.
Yeah, which I can definitely get behind. Plus, like, oh, it's so good. Which I would say for people that love Zelda, if you haven't tried out the demo on Steam yet, do so. You will not regret it. Just don't go and think it's completely like Zelda. Then you probably would get disappointed. But surprise as well, a new Deadpool game that's VR, which I also have to thank the people behind that reveal for the Silks on mention. Uh, that was just funny
Right.
to me.
But yeah, yeah, as someone who doesn't care about that much about Marvel, I don't have much to say on it. So that's all I have to say.
Lol. Which I don't have VR, so I probably won't get it. But we know some. I know some people that will probably pick it up. If I had a
So all the
VR
power.
headset, I would probably get it because I don't know. I like Deadpool. He's not tied to MCU, so I just like the fourth wall breaking. That's just his stick, and I freaking like it. I like even like off topic, but Deadpool was in the Spider-Man cartoon for Disney DX. He was voiced by Ron Stoppable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. It's like I couldn't picture Deadpool. I was just picturing Ron behind the mask. He was just fucking with Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But yeah, VR game which can be expected, but for once, it's a VR game that's not just a typical on-rail shooter. And as well, like a new Scott Pilgrim game as well got announced, which I didn't expect that because I know they did like a release. I still have to play that. I got from Ubisoft, but this is not from Ubisoft, so people will probably more likely buy it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's definitely an audience for it because there's some people within my own community that I know that just love Scott Pilgrim.
And plus, he's probably a bit more popular now thanks to, like the Netflix TV show.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you might be
Yeah,
right.
so more of a dedicated following. Which, hey, not a bad thing to cash in on that, I would say.
No, I didn't think so.
But I'll definitely look into it because I still need to play the first Scott Pilgrim beat 'em up. But as well, it's neat to see there's some more beat 'em ups that coming out because that felt like another genre that was just like it exists, but not as big. So as well, Lego Party.
So Lego Party. You know, I'm not totally against the idea of picking up this game. Um, but there is something that Turquoise and I've very much noticed about their mini games. It seems they drew very, very heavy inspiration from Crash Bash.
Oh yeah, just the first two, like after the car minigame, like I think it was the pogo stick minigame, and then the next one after was basically
The
the
pinball
pin.
one.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
if you're a Crash Bandicoot fan, you didn't notice that. I'm just gonna judge you people.
It's like just go back and watch. I mean, maybe it was a bit too fast because they're showing like, oh, we have 40 plus minigames or 60 or whatever number they said. They did say a specific number, funny enough, but I guess I just don't remember. But if you slow down and actually dissect it, you'll notice what Jekyll and I are talking about if you're a Crash Bash fan.
Which is rare because I think it's just the two of us.
It is definitely not. We know someone that loves Crash Bash.
Oh, right, him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm probably gonna pick it up now, especially knowing it's gonna have crossplay and it's 45 US dollars, which you'd think for somehow it's gonna be 60 if it was a Nintendo game.
No, but I can support this because, like, Lego basically, or whoever was developing it, basically were given a chance at creativity that's not tied to any sort of licensing. So I am kind of interested in what kind of creativity that they'll deliver.
Plus, there's more party games besides Mario Party. So,
Yeah, that too. It's like it's nice to have another party game that's not like the usual.
but Blighted World, which is yes, roguelike.
I'm not gonna lie, I had to look this up because I honestly did not remember.
Wow, I'm gonna judge hard. But I remember mostly just because it is being developed by the same people who've made some of my favorite indie games, the Guacamelee games. Really cool indie Metroidvanias that have beat 'em up combat, and you get to play as a luchador who can turn into a chicken because he was cursed.
Yeah,
So,
right. No, I don't know if I actually watched this preview. I'm gonna be honest, mainly because I think this was during because remember I was working during this time while
oh
this
right.
yeah, I had some work calls that were going on, so I couldn't watch at the same time because yeah, I was actually focused on work, which I guess is a good thing.
All right, let's talk about the next game on that was a Summer Game Fest. What was that game?
It was
Ill.
ill.
Yeah, which being developed by the same people that made Atomic Heart, which I never played, but I understand it is Bioshock, but in Russia with robots. And this is the
Oh, okay. I was like, why are you
opposite.
talking like that?
What, you don't like my Russian accent?
No, you sound like a Norwegian that we know.
Oh, well, this is very unfortunate, comrade. But yeah,
Anyways,
Ill looks pretty neat, looks very different. I'm definitely curious. I would need to see a little bit more since like there's a few zombie games I would like to play, but at the same time it's like, what do you do that's different?
yeah.
That's just where I'm like, okay, you need to actually do something different to make me interested. Otherwise, I'm gonna regret getting it like Back for Blood.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't make it a back for blood situation.
Yeah, but yeah, what about you, Gizmo? What are your thoughts?
About ill, no, it's kind of the same boat. I'm generally not like a person, but if there's something about it, then it's like maybe I'll pick it up, but I'll have to see,
I would know someone we know would probably pick it up.
probably.
Yeah, which
Well, a couple people, honestly.
yeah. I was just saying the one person. Now I'm just thinking, oh, okay, yeah. We
Yeah,
know a few people now. But when it comes to as well different genres, game that caught my attention that's also an Epic Game Store exclusive as far as we know. Um it's hard to pronounce this one.
In
Infinitesimals?
Infinitesimals.
Which kind of gives me vibes of an N64 game called Jet Force Gemini, but it also mixing like elements of Honey I Shrunk the Kids, where essentially you're
Yeah,
an alien, but you're in the backyard fighting against like bugs and like these walkers. Where I guess you could say like this Jet Force Gemini has like that Star Wars kind of look to it because there was walkers.
I thought it was kind of cool. That's like more of a sci-fi thing. So it's a bit different from like another game we're going to talk about in the Xbox showcase.
Oh, big
So I think
time!
that's kind of what?
It's like oh, big time.
Oh
We're gonna
yeah.
talk about it.
No, it's just like it's very similar, but this one seems kind of darker in a good way.
Yeah. But even more Capcom stuff. We've got to look at who's gonna be in season 3 of Street Fighter 6, and I was kind of confused because like it had the super realistic look to it, whereas people in real life, and then oh okay, I see
Yeah.
one of my favorites is coming back for season 3, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
I'll finally have somebody to play besides Blanca and Zangief from Mother Russia.
Well, at least you have multiple mains.
Yeah. Yeah, I think as well. when it comes to multiplayer, it was one that kind of caught my interest because it's a game that looks like it's a shooter, but it's also a game of capture flag, and it's called Last Flag. I
Yeah,
wasn't I wasn't
sorry, go
sure
ahead.
when I had like much to say about this game, but I thought it'd be like a nice little honorable mention just because it looked neat and it's something also a little bit different in terms of like a shooter.
Yeah, it's like we kind of have to see how we just need a slightly more information in order to know, like, okay, is it just the same game over and over again, or is there a little more to it? Because there potentially could be slightly more than what we saw.
Yeah, especially with the characters. I feel like this could be like a hero shooter to an extent, but it's not like something like Concord.
No.
I'm sorry, I had to
well,
mention that game.
well, I don't think it was as expensive as Concords. I think we're good on that end.
Yeah, maybe it'll draw some inspiration from like at least the Garden Warfare games, which I hope.
We'll see.
But at least talk about we brought up one roguelike before, but looks like there's gonna be a roguelike that will actually interest you for a change.
Yeah, honestly, into the Unwell. Just looking at the whole art style, like I loved that it was classic cartoon, but even if you put that aside, the game itself just seemed dark and trippy, and I am here for it.
And you get to play as a cat.
And you get to play as a cat, which is a nice added bonus. It kind of goes with my brand. Yay! Subscribe to my channel.
But yeah, as well, like you said, Cuphead sort of started a trend for gaming now.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. It's like there is definitely an audience for these classic cartoons. It's like you go to these channels and they talk about all these classic cartoons. There's definitely an audience for it, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they're actually going that direction.
Oh hell yeah. I'll definitely pick it up as well. It's like I'm kind of tired of roguelikes, but there are like a few exceptions since like everyone has to have some kind of roguelike nowadays.
But this is just trippy as hell. So I'm looking forward to this.
Speaking of like when it comes to dark, so I'm just gonna say I freaking loved how Capcom trolled early on the show, being like, "Oh hey, we're not gonna show this game," but then at the end, the last thing they show off is Resident Evil 9. Oh, and just to clarify, yes, people were butthurt. It's like you can't do a joke nowadays.
It's like, ah, how offensive. I had a mental breakdown because you said you weren't going to show it. And I sat in the room in my corner for 5 hours and I was just rocking back and forth. And yes, I know the Summer Games Fest is only an hour and a half, but I was still rocking for 5 hours because you tricked me.
I know, right? People are pathetic. I'll just say. But I'm not the biggest Resident Evil guy. I've tried several of the games. The only one I ever liked was 7 because 7, in my opinion, is the only one that actually felt scary. While the other ones, like, I mean, Grant RE2 remake at least feels scary, like to extent with like the liquors and such, but it never had that horror vibe that Resident Evil 7 did for me. But learning from a friend of Colin Lack, apparently the director behind 7 is working on this one, so I'm hoping that it'll be in line with 7 at least to an extent in terms of like scariness, because even if it's not like gonna be my cup of tea, I will admit it looks really cool. And like they're doing something like they haven't done for a little bit. You get to actually have as the main character is a female, which they've only done with the likes of Claire and Jill Valentine.
All
So
right, good to see more female characters.
yeah, which if I had to guess, some people are saying the game is woke, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Just look on Twitter for 2 minutes and then you'll find something.
Yeah, because that's how it goes nowadays. Oh
Well,
well,
it's like part of me wonders if a lot of those are bots these days. Because it's like I don't know how many people actually think that versus like, oh yeah, this.
but who knows? But yeah, Summer Game Fest, like I wouldn't say it's the best thing ever, but there was some stuff we liked. Which always feels like it's gonna be the case with any event. There's always gonna be like one or two announcements that just okay, cool, but just didn't really do it for me.
which is fine. And I see absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Although I still wish Bioshock 4 was there. I'm
Well,
s-
yeah, I know.
uh, there was signs.
Well, there's probably another disappointment we're gonna have, and we're gonna address it pretty soon. So